Our final presentation of the evening is the OAB Hall of Fame. And this is a board-nominated honor, and it's presented to individuals who demonstrate a commitment to the highest standards of broadcast excellence. Tonight, the OAB honors a man who has achieved rock star status in the world of broadcast sales. Saw this man tonight just walking up and down. It's Mick Jagger, man. I mean, Mick is touring with the Stones, and he's here. Like, it's so amazing. Like any rock star, we want to know more, aside from all that stuff. So the OAB sent one of its special correspondents to go behind the bling to discover the truth, the real story about our 2015 honoree, Patrick Grierson.
Canadian broadcast sales represents 46 broadcasters and more than 400 radio stations in 250 Canadian markets, jointly owned by Rogers Broadcasting and Corus Entertainment. CBS is Canada's largest radio representation company, with offices in every major advertising agency center across the country. The company's president and CEO is my grandpa, Patrick Grierson. Patrick was born in Cape Town, South Africa. After he completed his education in Great Britain, he worked in television, doing everything from camera operation to producing. Eventually, my grandpa returned to South Africa and continued to work in media, but now he did sales. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm told he still does it, so he must be good at it. In the 1970s, Grandpa came to Ontario, Canada, and continued to build his career. I'm pretty impressed that my grandpa's getting this fancy award, but I want to know why he's getting it. So, I've invited some of Grandpa's friends and colleagues from across the country to tell me about him. Hi, Gordon. It's nice to meet you.
Lolo, it's lovely to meet you too.
I have a few questions for you.
Okay.
What is my grandfather like to work with?
Well, he's a great combination of being extremely good at what he does. He runs the best rep firm in the country, but he's also a lot of fun to work with. I really like him. I like him a lot. He's a really good friend and obviously the coolest guy in radio.
If I go back to 25 years ago, I got to put these on because back then he still had the long hair as he does today, but even more so, the bling that Patrick continues to wear, all the silver, all the bracelets. Anytime you're around him, Rod, you always had to wear sunglasses.
He's looking good. You're looking good today. Not quite as cool as Patrick, but you're looking pretty good.
You know, he's very interesting to work with, a little different than most people, unconventional, as you may know, but he works hard, but he also likes to have a lot of fun, and so we do both.
Do you have any funny stories about my grandpa?
I have so many funny stories about your grandpa, I have no idea where to begin. Now, he might be more charming than I am, but his golf is truly terrible. So when your grandpa goes into a swing, he looks like the roadrunner going around in circles. Looks like he's about to drill a hole in the ground, and his bangles go flying all over the place, and pink shirts go all over the place, and his hair goes crazy, and then all of a sudden the ball pops out from nowhere, and he says, "Did anybody see it? What happened to the ball?" And we tell him what happened to the ball, but you know he's deaf as a post, so he never hears what you're saying. So invariably says, huh, what, has no idea where the ball went. So even though he's clearly more charming than I am, I think my golf's a little better than his.
Can you explain to me what my grandpa does?
Well, first of all, he goes for lunches, he goes to conferences, he goes golfing, and then we think somewhere along the line he also does a little work. But all in all, we enjoy him, and he's great fun to be with.
Can you explain to me what my grandpa does?
We take bookings and we sell air, as Billy Crystal and City Slickers put it. We sell airtime. But what Gobby does, Grandpa, is he smiles a lot, and he makes people like him, which is kind of his unique skill set.
The thing I always really appreciated about your grandfather, whenever I would run into him, it didn't matter where it was, usually at the British Columbia Association of Broadcasters, he always had time for everybody. I was working in a really small market at the time. He always wanted to know how we were doing, how my family was, how I was doing personally. And so that's something I always think of when I think of Patrick, is just his compassion for other people and just how much he really cared about the people that were in the industry.
Hello.
Hello, Lola.
What does my grandpa like to work with?
Your leadership, mentorship, frankly, sense of style has contributed to the success of not only Canadian broadcast sales, but also to the radio industry as a whole.
Your grandpa is a tremendous champion for radio. He's gathered the best staff of any rep firm in the country, and he just does a great job, and he's always selling for radio. And so, thanks, Patrick.
Thank you, Gordon, for sitting down with me today.
It's been fun, thank you.
Oh, guys, we gotta go down the course now. We have one more interview. Maybe they'll let me go down the slide. Hi, Jerry. It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too, Lola.
This place is awesome.
Thank you.
Why do you think he should get into the Hall of Fame?
Okay, seriously, why should he get into the Hall of Fame? He should, and he deserves it for the following reason. He loves radio, and he's been a tremendous advocate for radio, for the industry for many, many years. He loves the people he works with. He really deeply respects and values them as people. He works very hard on behalf of his customers, and he's such a nice guy. So for all of those reasons, that's why he should be in the Hall of Fame.
One more question.
Okay, what's that?
Can I go down the slide?
Down the slide? Are you crazy?
Yes.
Are you 36 inches tall?
44.
Go for it.
Patrick, on behalf of Lyndon, myself, and everyone at Golden West, thank you so much for everything you've done for us and the rest of the industry, and congratulations on this honor today. All the best.
Patrick, congratulations on your induction into the OAB Hall of Fame.
I love how much you love the industry. I love how much you love your people. And on that basis, you certainly deserve it, so congratulations.
This Hall of Fame thing is really well deserved. And hard earned. Except it wasn't hard for him, because that's just his nature.
Pat, heartiest congratulations, all the best, and see you on the golf course.
Pat, congratulations on your induction into the OAB Hall of Fame.
Patrick, you're a true leader at CBS, and we in the Patterson Group can't thank you enough for your guidance and your leadership that has helped us over the years. And we really do call you a dear friend and congratulate you on your induction into the OAB Hall of Fame. Rod, what else has he taught us?
Well, you know, I think he's taught us a little bit about wine, hasn't he?
I think he has.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? Speaking
What do
of
you
that,
got?
we should toast him. Do you want to pour or should I? Congratulations, Patrick.
He always knows good wine from not so good wine. Congratulations, Patrick.
It's a wrap.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if he's a rock star, let's give him a rock star send up. Let me hear you say, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Grierson.
this is spectacular, but I'd have settled for 2 honorable mentions. And probably it's more than I deserve. I was really surprised when this happened, probably less so than you guys, but I'm thrilled nonetheless. I remember I was, the first thing that came to mind was, really? Me? And I remember I was sitting in my office, this was earlier in the year, when I got a call from Doug Kirk to tell me I was the recipient of the 2015 OAB award, Hall of Fame award. I was, and I'm still gobsmacked by the whole thought. I was expecting Best Male award or Best of Breed ribbon. Bad breeder, of course, because I owe you. The Hall of Fame induction exceeds my wildest dreams. It's extraordinary. And I've now settled into a sort of happy acceptance and appreciation, made sweeter by the fact that in my side of this business, it's even more unusual, and for that I'm grateful. One of the best parts of the award is that there are no nominations. So I don't have to sit and wait to be rejected, which is what's happened to me most of my life. That's a bloody lie. I've been dreadfully lucky. Also, it's far more valuable and impressive when others discover your good qualities without your help. And I really didn't help in this at all. And by the way, if anybody has any trouble understanding this, Ian Laurie can translate. We're both South Africans. I'm a better South African than he is, though. So, Doug, the entire board, I've been talking to Doug McKenzie in our place for a long time about this coming down, and everybody was sort of thrilled for me, but it's extraordinary recognition for something I love doing, working with people I actively enjoy, and it's never seemed like work, and I know it surprises my entire family of that. And I've been lucky enough to have seen and worked in a number of countries. I was born in South Africa, grew up in England, with a sprinkling of France, and I was particularly lucky to have come to Canada. And I married my wife the day before we left South Africa to come here. She's convinced it was done so we could avoid an extra application to the immigration board. But we came all to Canada, all bright, shiny, and new. Love it here, and it's been great to our whole family. The radio business in Canada, I recall years ago my stepdad, who spent his life in radio, he was the head of the Forces Broadcasting in the Middle East, started the first legal commercial station in Great Britain and wrote the white paper for the British government on commercial radio. And he said the best radio in the world is in Canada because it's fragmented but not overly fragmented, and it has texture and feel to it. So I have radio bred in the bone. I'm hoping Tynan gets it bred in the bone too, but yeah, and I think he's well in his way already. So it's nice to know that, because the people here are frankly even more special than the radio stations. I now have a lot of friends around the world. I have none here, but I have a lot around the world. So, kidding, I have an awful lot of friends, and pretty much everybody in this room I would number as a friend, including the people I work with. Though they should be surprised to hear that, I suppose. I've been in many cities and towns across Canada, and I remember once driving with Elmer through southern Manitoba in a horrible winter whiteout, and he stopped to pick up a hitchhiker. But I suppose you should if you've knocked them down. And I recall the late, and I don't mean for a meeting, the late Mel Sprackman. He's dead. He was a wonder larger-than-life character who ran our Vancouver office, and we all adored. He loved to gamble, and he loved the ponies, and even went so far as to buy a racehorse. And he showed me one day with pride the picture of this racehorse, and he said, "Look at this racehorse." I said, "What Mel, what in the name of God are you going to do with that? He said, I'm going to race it. And I looked at it again and I said, my money's on you. And he was in no kind of shape to race anything. He never did race it. I think he fed it. I can't speak highly enough about the CBS team, most of whom I've worked with for years. They're a talented team, and they support each other daily in accomplishing the goals and the objectives. I have for a long time felt that, to a large extent, culture trumps strategy, and that the combined effect of the two is unbeatable. We have the combination of the two, I believe. And I thank everybody at CBS for that. We have an amazing roster of Canada's finest radio stations, and they too, as some of those voices suggested, are very supportive of our endeavors. Then there's the other leg on the stool, and the media buyers. They're kleptomaniacs. And when it's bad, they take something. How sad is that? I thought that was quite amusing, funnily. They do have jobs to do, and they often diametrically opposed to our objectives. We want as much as we can for our product. They want to buy it for nothing. So it could easily be combative, but interestingly enough, it isn't. If you've got the right people, and we, I believe, do, we manage to create incredibly good relationships with those people. Now, I know the voices in my head aren't real. But sometimes they come up with some comparatively good ideas. And my sense is that radio has a wonderful future. And we've listened to a lot of people pontificate and wax lyrical about radio and some of the challenges and some of the opportunities. I think we're in remarkably good space, all things considered. I would suggest that there's a growing body of work to support that, and even demonstrates that radio is hugely effective. And this story needs to be reinforced at every opportunity. I don't think we're doing a good enough job in that area. And I think that what Elmer and the CEO committee have done is come to terms now, it looks like, with the fact that we can do something about that and move that issue forward. We must also, I think, revisit the product offering. 30s and 60s have been around for an awfully long time. There's got to be something to make our business sexier. And we've got to find other ways of doing it. While 60s and 30s will remain the foundation of our revenue, there's got to be other ways that we can communicate messages through our radio stations. So, let me see if I can. Particularly, by the way, as the cracks start to show in the digital model, we must take advantage of that. If we want to succeed, we're going to have to march towards the sound of gunfire, not away from it. And I know what you're thinking around about now is 100,000 plus sperm, and he was the fastest. Only just. So, in closing, I should reflect on my family. I recall saying to my wife, Jean, some time ago, "Don't you think the kids got the brains from me?" And she said, patiently, "Probably, darling, because I've still got all of mine." I've only got one thing to say, bitch. I'm kidding. Kidding. I'm kidding, I think. Most of you don't know this, but I was brought up as a single child, which didn't amuse my brothers very much. I've always believed my mother, who died, remember this, please remember this, my mother died 15 years ago, but I do believe I was her favorite. And I'm going to tell you about a note I received on the weekend from my brother, who just got a copy of the OAB email sent to him by a friend of mine who lives in London. What he sent a note to me, and it said, "I was so excited for you that I've been sending that note all over with a simple note from me saying, the